Hello Reformers and welcome back to Freeman Guerrilla Warfare. Now, I'm going to be a bit quieter today because it's actually really late. I don't want to disturb the neighbors, obviously, so we do need to be a little bit careful there, but hopefully I won't get too excited about all of the changes that have been applied to the game in recent days. And one of those changes is the increase of weapon drops. And let me just say that before, I actually don't think weapons were capable of dropping at all, and it was much more in the way of just having a bunch of different loot. So in other words, ammo and water. I was going to say weapons. Yes, water and maybe some food. Maybe not. But point is, the early game of Freeman has considerably changed. And I gotta say that is a fantastic move by the developers. They have listened to the community because, let's face it, most people, they're gonna have kind of the experience that I had in part 1 and part 2 of this little series that we have going on here. And that was, maybe win a couple, but then come across some bandits that are just going to be way too difficult for you to be able to deal with. And in my opinion, that is really, really important. I mean, obviously they've done a fantastic job in getting those updates out anyway, because obviously, getting out an update that actually improves the game in a speedy fashion, I mean, that's pretty hard to do, especially early access. It's really difficult to fully gauge exactly what you're trying to do and make it work, and it is working 100%. And I also have to mention something else very, very important. They have added basic weapon customization. And that means, oh yes, adding scopes, adding silencers, adding all kinds of amazing things to weapons. And you can choose the type of scope you like. You can choose, I actually haven't seen a silencer just yet, so maybe that is something that you're going to have to find out for yourselves. But as you can see, I currently have an ACOG scope, and I'm going to try and use this to maybe get some kills here because, oh, there's one. Well, everything seems to be going a little bit better this time around because, I mean, you've seen me with the iron sights. The iron sights were not really working too well for me, but that is, I don't know. I think in some respects I'm not very good with this ACOG scope either because the ACOG scope is, well, it's very zoomed in and I'm not used to that. So I'm kind of compensating in the same way that I would be with the iron sights, but as you can see, I'm actually not doing too badly. Gotten 3 kills so far, and I don't know whether I can chalk that up to me just knowing a little bit more about the game, me having more armor and being a little bit more confident in being able to head forward and actually make my presence known. Yes, but no, it's probably not that. It's probably more the fact that the ACOG scope is actually really nice, and I'm really pleased that they decided to add scopes into the game with weapon customization. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And as you can see, we do have a couple of other enemies somewhere. I am actually going in the wrong direction. Am I amazing or am I amazing? Yeah, not amazing. That has happened to me actually, I think twice in a row now, where I've thought to myself, oh, the enemies are over in that direction, and then I'm going forward and forward and forward, and then I'm ordering my units to go in a completely different direction. I guess that's just because the map is so massive, and I'm like, oh, there's people here and people there, and I need to go and kill all of them and vanquish them from the land. Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do right now. But anyway, point is, I have come up with a new strategy. I actually have a bunch of things to talk to you about in this particular episode. So yeah, hopefully you're interested in all of the topics. But anyway, point is, I'm going to talk about sieges. We're going to be talking about strategy in terms of making sure that in the early game, you're going to be left alone, so to speak, by the terrorists. And that's actually well, that's actually touching upon a particular comment left by one of you that was very, very interesting. And I was unaware that you could actually do this. And maybe some of you are also unaware of it, so it could also be helpful for you, for you in your game as well. So basically, I'm going to show you that. And yeah, obviously we're going to talk strategy about the siege, and we're also going to take a look at some of the other equipment, and maybe I can try and find a silencer as well, and maybe I can show you one of those. I mean, you can already imagine that the stealth in this game is probably not going to be fantastic, but bear in mind that there is camouflage. There is a camouflage stat, and I don't exactly know what the camouflage stat does, but I would assume it just makes it less likely for you to be seen. I mean, duh, obviously, but the point is what I'm trying to say is how much percentage is it going to help you? That's the point. I actually don't know, but it would be kind of interesting to find that out at some point. Maybe they're gonna add some tooltips, or maybe just increase the amount of information that the player has at their disposal. And yeah, so we're going to talk a bit about that. And in general, I think that having a suppressor could actually make a bit of a difference, but just think about it like this. If you go up to a particular squad, I think I've actually had it in one particular battle previously, where the opponent hasn't actually known where I've been. And as a result, it has made it a little bit like, well, I could theoretically just kill these guys if they don't see me. And so camouflage is a pretty big deal there. And that's the thing, I haven't really seen any other benefit to camouflage than that. And that's absolutely fine. But then as soon as you shoot them, even if it is with a silencer, isn't that then going to alert them immediately to where you currently are? I mean, I actually don't know, because obviously I haven't been able to find a silencer at the moment. So maybe once I find one, I might actually be able to test that out. But anyway, what we're going to need to do here is fully charge straight on in, because I personally don't think we are going to get anywhere just by proceeding with caution any further, and it would be kind of nice to finish this. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and see whether I can maybe purchase an additional torso piece, because at the moment I have a really, really awesome body armor. As you can see, I actually have 96 armor at the moment. There's a reason for that. I purchased a Kevlar combat helmet, and suffice it to say, that gives you 30 additional armor, especially to your head. And at the time, I actually only had, I think it was 8 head armor, so there was no wonder why in the previous siege I got shot in the face and died almost immediately. So basically the only thing that I'm currently worried about right now is improving my torso armor a little bit more, of course, and also improving my leg armor. And I wanted to show you something as well. Yes. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Please, developers, if you're watching this, please do not change this, because this is absolutely fantastic. Oh my. Oh my. He's like, oh no, 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 no. I hate this. I'm losing I'm losing this battle. That is absolutely hilarious. Really. Oh look, he actually changed when I moved into him. Look, there we go. Look, I'm pushing him around. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave you alone now. Goodbye. Goodbye, fair prince. Oh, that was amazing. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I'm being shot. I'm being shot right now, so I probably want to shoot back. Or never mind, because it seems like they got absolutely massacred by my forces. But yeah, point is, let's just see. Oh no, that's a tree. That's a tree. I thought that was actually someone. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, we absolutely crushed them, but that is to be expected. You can see here, however, that there is already a new weapon. I've actually already picked up multiple weapons from battles, and I picked up, I think it was a rifle. picked up a single-shot rifle, I think, and I also picked up a revolver, and they were sold, I actually sold those for a very large amount of money, and that's exactly the reason why I am able to field such a large army at the moment. I'm actually a little bit worried about this, to be honest, because day 4 is coming. Day 4 is coming, and I have a very large army at the moment, and I have 3 sniper teams. I was actually attempting, before I tried the next siege, I was actually attempting to get another couple sniper teams and just spawning them in first, because I think that they are probably going to give us the greatest shot at actually being able to clear out most of the enemies in Berezno. And that is hopefully going to make a difference in our efforts to take it, you know? And yeah, actually one of you did have a pretty significantly useful suggestion, with the exception of the tactic that I'm going to show you just now. But moving on to the previous point, if I'm not going to absolutely trip over my words all the time. Anyway, point is, what you can do is you can go in, and then you can kill a bunch, and then you can just retreat. And I actually never thought of that. I never thought to myself, you know what? We can actually retreat. This is called guerrilla warfare for a reason, you know? So anyway, my bad. Probably should have just retreated after I killed the initial forces and just worn them down, you know, war of attrition type stuff. And you know that you can actually tell your squads, I don't know whether some of you know this or maybe not, but you can actually tell your squads to retreat individually. And so that makes things much easier when it comes to saving squads that are just about to have their last member eliminated. And so it's a lot easier when it comes to that. Anyway, let's go in here against these 28. This is actually going to be a bit of a difficult fight. I think so, because I'm going to need to take in some units that need to level up. And I need these guys to actually start getting kills. So with the exception of these guys, I'm going to take in 2 mercenary sniper teams, and they're going to have to help us out quite a bit here, because these guys are not very well experienced. And, well, let's see if we're able to do something here. I'm going to tell them to go over here. These guys are going to go over here. These guys are going to go over here. And we're not going to separate ourselves too much, because obviously that is not something that I really want to do. But we're going to just make sure that we have a solid ground for if we get ambushed in some way, because it might happen. I don't want it to happen, and it probably won't happen, but you never know. And we have a fully stocked AK-47, well, AKM, shall we say, ready for battle. But yes, I'm actually going to show you, just after this battle, what I was talking about earlier with one of you commenting this very, very useful bit of information for when you have a decent amount of cash and you're sort of in the early game. So this might actually be something that you want to do before you buy a weapon. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, before you buy a weapon? Are you serious? Yeah, I'm actually pretty serious about that, because it makes your life a lot easier if you are kind of roaming close to the terrorist faction, because they're going to chase you, as you've seen in previous episodes. They're going to make your life very, very difficult by, well, basically killing you. They're pretty good. They are pretty good. So obviously that is something to bear in mind. I don't think a weapon is really going to save you against those guys. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about after this battle. We seem to actually be doing a pretty reasonable job so far. I mean, our mercenary snipers are certainly absolutely murdering them, which is to be expected. But I'm hopeful that our militia and our volunteers will actually be able to get a couple of kills as I say that, because, well, they need the experience. They certainly do. And that was a nice kill from me right there. Kind of surprised I was actually able to get that guy, because he was in a pretty decent position. But I guess it was very, very lucky. They only have 19 remaining, but we've already eliminated one of their groups. I'm a bit worried about our snipers being a little bit out of position here. So I'm going to move them a little bit down, just so they can be a bit closer to our other squads. You never know. You might need their assistance. Let's just move these guys over here. And I'm hopeful that they might come around the corner. But maybe I can scout ahead a little bit. Yeah, generally, what you want to do is, if you are like me and you have a pretty decent amount of armor and, you know, okay amounts of health, and I do have a med kit or two, and if you're like me and you have those things, then it's probably a pretty decent idea to go and scout around yourself on the map, so you can actually figure out where the opponents are, and maybe you can set up some ambushes and things like that. But if you're not like me, and you're me like a couple of episodes back, where I had literally no armor, no health, etc., then it's a good idea to use some volunteers, or, you know, some squad that you don't necessarily mind if they take a couple of hits, you know what I mean? So, something like that. And what you want to do with them is scout. You know, you want to scout with them, you want to make sure that those guys are uncovering the opponent for you, because at the moment I'm able to do this because I have quite a bit of confidence in my ability to stay alive at the moment, not because I'm actually fantastic at shooting, but just because I have, you know, higher than average HP and pretty decent armor. That's the only reason. And I could literally be running around without any weapons right now, and I would still be reasonably confident that I could just stay alive, just because I can run away, I can take some cover until my squads arrive. But it would also be kind of cool for us to stage some sort of ambush here. And at the moment, you know, we're not doing too badly. I mean, you can see here that I'm actually facing this direction, which is not exactly good, but I'm using the tree line. That is a thing that I would very much stress to those of you that may want to get into playing the game, and maybe you're having some difficulties in the early game. And that's exactly the reason why I want to actually give you that sort of beginner tip at the very end, well, of this battle, because it's going to really make a huge... Oh, hello! It's really going to make a huge difference to your survivability. Oh yeah, and I should also say thank you to those of you that have told me that you can actually change your firing method. In other words, you can change how fast you're firing. And I actually didn't even know that there was a selectable fire. I thought it was just full auto, and that's it. But you can actually change that with the V key. That is the V key. V for victory, yes. V for victory. And yeah, it's much, much easier for you to be able to be accurate with that, of course. And it's amusing because I was actually doing not too badly with the full auto, but obviously wasting a little bit too much ammunition for my liking. So there is actually another enemy over there, but I don't think we need to worry about him too much. So let's just continue to move our forces a little bit ahead here. Don't want to move them too much down, so what we're going to try and do is swing around here, get up onto the high ground, or at least the even ground with the other units, and then we should be in a pretty decent position here. I'm going to try and move ahead myself and maybe take him out solo. I mean, he's right by those trees over there by the looks of things. I don't know where he is though. I can't really see him. This is going to be a bit difficult, I think. You can see that he's, I think, shooting right there. Is that him? No, I don't think so. Never mind, he's dead. He's dead. I'm actually kind of... I don't know, I'm really impressed by the sniper teams and how extremely accurate they can be. And that's exactly the reason why I'm thinking they're probably going to be a really good strategy to use for the siege. And what I mean by that is we're going to just take in a bunch of sniper teams. They're going to kill everyone that is reasonably close to the spawn point, or at least I hope so. And then maybe we can retreat and come in with some of our other squads, and maybe that's going to make a difference. Ah, there they go. Okay, so we have a bunch here. Hopefully my snipers are going to be able to see them. Maybe? I'm kind of surprised that they're not seeing them right now. Where are the enemies? Ah, there they are. I'm actually wondering how much bullet drop there actually is, because obviously they do give you the muscle? The muscle velocity. Yes, you're throwing the fist at them. Yes, you're throwing your bicep muscles at them. That is certainly not the case, but yes. Anyway, the point is, you're given the muzzle velocity, And so that should give you an idea as to how much bullet drop there actually is with each weapon. And that's pretty cool. But obviously I'm unsure just how much there is. I mean, you know, obviously in games like Sniper Elite, for example, you know, I used to play Sniper Elite V2 on the channel years and years and years ago. And that was, you know, you had bullet drop in that. But that was a little bit easier to kind of gauge just exactly where you needed to aim. Because you could go for a body shot, you know, you could go for a body shot if you didn't want to go for a headshot, and it would not really make too much difference, you know, I mean, dependent on the enemy, obviously, but in this game, it's a little bit different, because obviously you're trying your hardest to make sure that you kill the enemies as soon as possible, because if you don't, well, you're gonna suffer some casualties. I mean, you saw my engagement against the terrorists, and you could see exactly how effective they are, even though they are supposedly not exactly the greatest when it comes to their gear. They're actually not that well geared. Well, that was actually reasonably exciting at the end there. I was like, oh, better charge in and help my friends, or my comrades, or whatever you want to say. But anyway, there's the revolver that I got earlier. That's pretty awesome. I think it's really nice that they've changed the looting system to include weapons and to reduce the amount of kind of rubbish and garbage that you get, because even though you're getting a little bit less ammo, you're getting that amazing weapon that is going to sell for a pretty decent amount in itself. So it doesn't even matter really whether you get ammo or not, because ammo is pretty cheap. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. And now that I have 9,000 in the way of money, I can finally do the thing that I wanted to show you, which is going to make your life a little bit easier when going up against the terrorists. So if we go to the info tab right here, you can see that I currently have the factions, I have the quests, and I have my statistics. As you can see, there's my statistics. I actually haven't lost any battles, amazingly enough. Well, you know, I obviously had a save game, so yeah, I have lost battles, obviously. Anyway, point is, you can go to the factions, and if you select the Brotherhood, which is the terrorists over here, you can see these little buttons over here. Pay tribute, demand tribute, and truce. Technically, I could ask for a truce here, but I don't think I'm going to do that. As you can see, their relationship is currently -50, which means they're at war with us, and what we can do is we can pay tribute to them, which is 1,000 cash to gain 10 relation with them every single time. So if I do this, right here, it's going to increase from -50 to 0, as you can see. And now they are neutral with us. And that means they will no longer pursue you. So if you have 5,000, or maybe, you know, maybe your relation with them is a little bit higher or a little bit lower, and if you have 5,000 or maybe 4, 3, 2, you know, something like that, then you can just pay 1,000 each time and you can make them neutral with you. So you don't have to worry about these terrorists absolutely murdering you and following you around all the time when you're trying your hardest in the early game to gain some power. And so I hope that's going to help you out, and thank you to one of you for actually leaving that comment, because that's very interesting. And so I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.